What is going on, Texas Rail fans? I'm Rail Fan Ryan, and this is Texas Rail Fan 21 coming to you with another railroader video stream. This is a very special video stream as I'm going to go over my complete Blue Ridge and Southwestern Railroad, explaining the locomotives, rolling stock, facilities, as well as operations. So let us begin. All right, we'll start with this locomotive. This is number 1601, one of three C46 Class 280s on my roster. These are the big workhorses of my fleet and the most multi-use locomotives. They handle both the freight trains as well as the coal drags. And this engine is a little smoky. Yes, these three engines have names. She's equipped with a Southern Pacific 6 chime. Going to the rear is one of the cabooses. This is number 501, one of three of the early style wood cabooses on the roster. This is the Sylva interchange where all the trains are picked up and set out. Here is my third C46 280, number 1603, the Ella River. This is used to assist when trains are longer, to double head with the existing 280s. And she is equipped with a Southern Railroad 3 chime. Right here is one of my newer additions. This is number 5201, one of my two F71 Class 210-2s. This is added for additional long trains. My 210-2s are used for hauling the long trains. When trains are too long for the 280s to do the job, I'll basically stick this on the front with the 280 pushing on the rear ahead of the caboose. It's equipped with a Norfolk and Western Hooter chime, specifically from Norfolk and Western Class A 1218. Here is my Dillsboro facility. This is where the engines are turned around, ready for the next run. For the longest while I did not have this facility. I didn't know how to activate it until I found out you access it on map features right here. So going into the roundhouse, here's my second 210-2, number 5200. Recently she's been fitted with a different whistle. Reminds me of the Big Boy or 844. She's equipped with an HICO long bell 3 chime. Right here is my small 060 switcher that's used for switching around Dillsboro whenever needed, number 1302. I also have diesel locomotives. These are not owned by the Blue Ridge and Southwestern. I base these off a diesel leasing company, the Blue Mountain Leasing Company. And they're wearing the exact paint similar to the Reading, Blue Mountain, and Northern. Here's one of my 3 SW1 switch engines, number 55. This is used for switching as well. Here's one of my 3 GP9s, number 66. That's used for, which is used for assisting when the steam engines can't operate. Here are my 2 other early wood cabooses, 500 and 505, and my steel caboose, number 5500. These are used as spares when I have to put another caboose in the shop for repairs. Over here, moving on to East Whittier, here is my 2 replica locomotives. This here is my accurate replica of my favorite locomotive on the Mount Rainier Scenic Railroad, Hammond's Lumber Company 282T number 17. Probably my favorite on the Mount Rainier Scenic Railroad, besides my favorite favorite rod engine, besides the big Port of Grays Harbor number 5, which is undergoing restoration. This engine had a twist of fate in its life. It was working for the Hammond Lumber Company in 1945 when it was stranded by a forest fire that destroyed track and bridges, saving her from the scrapyard, believe it or not. So the logging company just simply abandoned her in the forest. And behind her is a model of Eureka Western number 19, which is currently at the Age of Steam Roundhouse, undergoing an extensive restoration. She also worked for the Something Oregon and Eastern Road at Cottage Grove, where she was named the Blue Goose and featured in the movie Empress of the North. And she also worked for the McLeod River Railroad. Over here is my 3rd switch engine, number 54. And right here is an excursion train used by my good friend Texas Railfan Productions. This is where I store the excursion consist along with the diesel number 9010, the steam locomotive, which is an accurate replica of New York Susquehanna Western number 142, we'll get to in a minute. Here's the coaling facility with coal loader and water column. Moving on to the main headquarters of the railroad. Here's my other SW1500 number 56, used for switching in Bryson, and my two GP9s numbers 64 and 65. Here is the passenger train that's used for occasional passenger service on the line. Here are my two cabooses for the Blue Ridge and Southwestern subsidiary, the Alarka and Great Western Railroad. And here's the main facility. Here's my Southern Railroad 10-wheeler. T22 10-wheeler. Hold on a second. So anyway, here's my 10-wheeler, sometimes used from the passenger train. Here's my one of my two 080 switch engines, number 1303, used for switching around Bryson. And here is one of my engines I'm very proud of, my accurate model of former Great Western / Strasburg Railroad number 90. Yes, I'm aware of the tragedy of Casey Jones, but his heroicness saved everyone on the passenger train. He was the only one that was killed. The fireman was able to jump clear before the crash. Anyway, so here's number 90, which handles the freight trains to Alarka as well as the occasional passenger train. She is equipped with the exact whistle. And here is the excursion train used by my good friend Texas Railfan Productions, New York Susquehanna 142, the fabled Belle Dell. equipped with a Chinese 5 chime. And here is my Mogul number 89, an accurate replica of Strasburg Railroad number 89. Of course, I am hoping that soon the developers on this game will come out with the exact Canadian National 4 chime that number 89 used on the Strasburg Railroad. In the meantime, she's equipped with a PRR 3 chime. This right here is the passenger train that's occasionally used on the railroad. They're not on the timetable as they are actually considered an extra train. Alright. Moving on, here's my second C-46, number 1602, the Blue Ridge. She is equipped with a Central of Georgia 6 chime whistle. Used on the coal trains when the trains are not too long for her to do the work alone. And here's one of my newest locomotives on the roster. This one I'm very proud of. It's an accurate model of Western Maryland number 734, the fabled Mountain Thunder. And this is based off of the real Western Maryland Class 280s, and this is by far the largest 280 on my railroad, outweighing my conventional C-46 280s. It also holds the most coal and water out of all my engines. She's equipped with a Western Maryland 3 chime. Now, as far as operations, I run 2 trains. I run the Robertson Gap coal train, and I run a freight train that sets out cars at Dillsboro, Whittier, Bryson, and Alarka. And moving on to Alarka, there's one more place to look at. To conclude my overview, here's one more locomotive. My Alarka and Great Western Railroad 080 number 22. She's equipped with a Powell 3 chime whistle. Alright, this will conclude today's overview video of the railroad. Everyone stay tuned, as the next video will be my next rail fanning video. Until next time, I'm Texas Rail Fan. Until I'll see you in a minute, I'm Texas Rail Fan 21. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.